Welcome to Friday, TGIF. It's May 30th, 2025. This day with a podcast brought to you by ConverseCountyTourism.com. Feel the energy of Converse County. Explore Douglas's railroad heritage, Ayers Natural Bridge, and the Jackalope legend. Glen Rockbow scenic trails, dinosaur history, and small town charm. Plan your visit at ConverseCountyTourism.com. Well, we're going to be warming up. So we're going to be really looking and feeling a lot like an early summer pattern across the western United States. The heat's already been building in the far western states here over the last several days. But east of the divide, where it's been cooler, a little more soupy, you're going to warm up as well. And that's going to continue through the weekend. However, the pendulum goes the other way with a cooling trend and a good chance for some showers and thunderstorms and a more active weather pattern once we get into next week. So despite the really warm temperatures here to end May with, and for the first couple of days of June, actually the first full week of June in many areas will cool off a bit. But that will bring some more needed precipitation chances to the region. Beautiful shot there in the Owens Valley, California area under that high pressure, and that high pressure there in the heat is what's going to be expanding east across the Intermountain West and the Western High Plains here over the next several days. Beautiful shot of flowers there up into northeastern Wyoming, where the nice spring moisture leading to a good flower display. And of course, bluebird sitting on the barbed wire there enjoying the view. And speaking of a beautiful view, nice shot of the Wyoming range there with New Fork Lake there, showing just a beautiful cloudscape, mountainscape, springscape across the lower elevations. Satellite photos this morning, I've pulled out the view a little bit to show you a little bit more what's going on. You can see that it's really clearing out across the western United States with the high pressure moving on in. So we're going to get a happy face because of some really nice weather today through Sunday for most of you across the region. Couple things to point out, though. Right here is the first tropical storm of the season. This is Alvin off the coast of Mexico. Now, we haven't had a hurricane or a named hurricane yet. Usually by now we do, but it's a little bit of a late start to the tropical season. So this is Alvin, and this will go up and it'll dissipate, but it will bring some moisture into parts of the southwestern United States later on in the forecast period. High pressure is going to be really dominant across North America, though, as we go through the next 24 to 72 hours. There you can see Alvin, so it starts with an A. It's the first one. But this also means warmer water temperatures here, things getting a little bit more active down in these lower latitudes. Also, when you look at the track, you'll see that it goes up into southwest Mexico here by the end of the weekend, but it will weaken to a tropical depression. One thing that is going to be affecting the United States, that's already affecting Canada, is wildfire smoke. We actually have a lot of wildfire activity in northern Saskatchewan and Manitoba right now. Very dry conditions this spring up there, then some lightning strikes and some wind. And so this is the way the wind pattern will work, a lot of this smoke right here will be drifting south into the Midwest and into the Great Lakes weekend. So if you see some haziness, that's what you're going to be observing from that wildfire smoke. And the rain chances for Saskatchewan are okay through the weekend, but mainly going north of the fires, same for Manitoba. Now going into today, this is the pattern. We got the low pressure systems here with Alvin and along the west coast, high pressure building on in. Then as we get on into Sunday, we're going to see this next trough come on in and try to settle in and push out this high pressure ridge. But the high pressure ridge will be in place. By Wednesday, the system, the troughiness, is basically kind of settling in. Now, it's not terribly cold like you would get in the winter, but overall, there's going to be a 3-4 day period of being under, generally speaking, lower pressure in the basin, which means upslope at the surface, which brings in that higher humidity air. Colder air loft comes in from the northwest, and you're going to get a recipe for showers and thunderstorms as we get to the first half of next week across the region. Temperatures, though, as we go forward, as we showed you yesterday, they get hot, then they cool off. These are the forecasted highs for Saturday. Here's the heat from the desert southwest through the Pacific Northwest. You can see the heat up there into Canada. Temperatures a lot more moderate here due to the wet ground and the heavier soil moisture from recent rains. But you see everybody warm up as we get into Sunday. But if you look up here into Canada and the Pacific Northwest, you can see definitely starting to cool off behind this line. That's because of the Pacific Trough. But you can see the heat here east of the divide really comes in strongly on Sunday. By Monday, that cool front advances, the heat gets pushed more out to the east. Yes, it could snow in the mountains early next week. These are pretty high snow levels, but some early June snow with this trough is going to be a possibility. Now let's step through the thunderstorm risk. For today, we will see thunderstorms along near I-25 over the mountains. A little bit of spotty activity here on the western slope. Down here in New Mexico, the thunderstorm activity continues along that I-25 corridor to the north. Saturday, the thunderstorms are more down to the south, and you start to see these thunderstorms down here. Look at this over the Sierra. So this is part of the subtropical moisture feeding from Alvin coming up north there along the Mexico coast. So now this is the time of year, as we talked about in the monsoon, we start watching down here a little bit more closely and less about up here. But we're in the time of year where we're still getting it up here, starting to get it from down here. So this is Saturday. Sunday, as that front approaches, the shower and thunderstorm activity starts to pick up and increase a little bit. So for your weekend plans, plan on some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. And as we've been showing you over the last couple of days, as the front gets closer and over the divide, we have this threat for some big thunderstorms on Monday. It really looks like this particular area right here, we're going to have a severe weather outbreak along this boundary. Somewhere in here is going to be severe weather, tornadoes, possibly large hail, possibly heavy rain. So Monday, we'll need to keep an eye on that. Have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy the warmer temperatures. We'll see you on Monday.